What's up, all you legends, and welcome back to the Fabled Storm. And this video is just a cut from the live stream where I built that PC. I decided that I would go ahead and just turn it into this. I didn't realize it took me 2 hours, but I was slowing down and explaining everything, and I'm sure there's stuff that I missed because I kind of cut out that part and then cut out other pieces in it. So there's probably either a lot of talking or me stopping to do other things that added to it, but either way, if you are interested in a PC build and want to see how this thing went, go ahead and watch it. I will say the camera looks a little blurry. I did find out after the end of the live stream that when I went to pack everything up, I had giant smudges all over my Brio. Like, this is the same camera that I used to do the live stream. And look how clear this is versus what you see in the live stream, and it's because I forgot to clean the camera before I started recording. So that's why the one that was on top of the computer that I was playing the games on, that camera was so much clearer, is because it didn't have giant fingerprints and smudges and stuff all over it. So but either way, if you want to stick around and watch me build a computer that I did for thankmas, you can do that. And if you don't want to stick around, you can still donate either to the cause or to my campaign below in the description. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and let's get into this video. CPU, case fans, RAM. I'll save that for later. If I can... Motherboard. Power supply. And I'll show the graphics card in a bit. Tools. More tools. Oh no. Oh no. Storage. Put the boy to sleep. It'll be fun. He needs a nap. It is nap time. It's 3 o'clock. No. Well, I forgot. No, I don't have it in my pocket. I did. I forgot one of my screwdrivers, but that's fine. I can do everything with all these. Well, almost everything. So, we're going to be building a mid-range PC. And by mid-range PC, or whatever the hell I just tried to say, I mean that it's going to play pretty much anything you want to play in 1080. And it's going to work really well for even modern games. I will say that the graphics card does have 8 gigs of VRAM. But it has 8 gigs of GDDR5 VRAM. But it's high-spec VRAM, so it'll do its job just fine. We got a 450-watt bronze power supply. And why? Because these work, they're efficient, and it's EVGA. This is actually a really good power supply. So, but we don't need this right now, not till we get everything in the case and have to start plugging everything up. CPU and cooler are in here. These won't be needed until we get to messing with the no, it's just some cardboard. Sorry. Till we get to messing with the case. This is extra storage, actually, that I was going to use for a different project, and now I'm going to use it for this project, but we don't need all that. We got our RAM, so we can get that put on. And we have our motherboard with Wi-Fi. So, yeah, we got our Wi-Fi antennas, our motherboard. Yes, it's not in a package because this is a used motherboard. Most of these components are used because why not? I mean, seriously, why not? It doesn't hurt anything. Used components are just fine. No, I'm not going to discharge any static that may be attached to me. If it's an issue, deal with it. All right, so we got our motherboard. I will say, I will say that I already have the SSD installed on here, just because it was already connected to this board, so it's loaded up with a version of Windows, so I don't have to reload Windows. An app would be nice. So we got a 512 gig SSD, and if I could move this one, I would try to have two camera setups. But so for the CPU for this build, we're using a Ryzen 3600. Why? Because they're about the best mid-tier CPU you can get. They're fairly cheap. The AM4 platform has just endless amount of things. Like, it's insane how much stuff you can get to go to this whole platform for nothing. It's incredibly cheap to build on, and it's incredibly cheap to buy. So I've got this processor with the cooler, everything, for $50 was how much this was on Marketplace. Yeah, I think that was 50 on Marketplace. This is a B550 MA board. I know that this box says B450 if you can read it, but it's still an Asus Prime, but it's a B550 board, so it's more high-end. It was the last generation before they went to the B650 for the AM5 platform, what they're on now. And we got our SSD that has all of our Windows on it, so it should just boot right up once we put it all together. And fit it in that case. There we go. I wish I had my other screwdriver, because my other screwdriver fits in this screw perfectly and is magnetic. This screwdriver right here is also magnetic, but it's way too big to be getting into the cracks and crevices like that. Well, dang it. I lost a screw. No, I didn't. It went around the other side. I cannot believe that I left that other screwdriver at home. This is why doing build streams and stuff would be super fun at my house, because I have all my tools and I don't have to lose anything. Oh, fine motor skills. Son of a gun. Thread this stupid screw, man. I guess this is my fault. It was already in, so there we go. There we go. Alright, so SSD's installed. We're good to go on that. And next we're going to do the CPU. If you've never built a PC before and you're having fun and you want to see more PC, you know, I should change the stream stuff so that people know that's what it is. So give me just a second while I go in here and change some of the live stream stuff. What it is showing me is so far behind, and it says it's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. But I don't know how that's possible, because I have smooth everything going right now. Whoa. Excuse me.
I have lost my mind. Okay. We're back. I'm happy that we beat last year's goal already. I'm just rechecking the Tiltify. Alright. Back to the stream. Whoop, there goes gravity. Alright. We got the motherboard here on the platform. I put it on top of these old boxes because it's a really good place. They have some give if you need to press down on stuff and they're not going to break. Well, good. It's not surprising he's been watching a stream and being bored for hours. So, on the AM4 platform, or this platform from AMD, which is an incredible one. There's so much good stuff about this. And it's really, if you're going to build your first PC, it's really probably where you should start. Especially if you're trying to do it on the budge. Because you can build a lot of really good budget stuff with this. You don't want to bend any of the pins. And just for reference on these, there's a little arrow in the corner of the CPU itself. And you want to line that little arrow up with the little arrow on the motherboard here. And for some reason, all the stuff on the Ryzen platform sits to the side. And it's really weird. Like, instead of sitting where the logo, there's no way you can see it. Anyway, the logo says Ryzen like this right across. Can I do it without a glare? Will no glare help? No. Anyway, but it's going to sit sideways like this. I don't know why they do that, but that is just the regular orientation. And we're just going to drop it into the motherboard without breaking any pins or bending anything or messing anything up at all. Well, maybe. It will not go into this corner. Why will you not go into the corner? None of my pins are bent. So what are you doing? Well, maybe there's a bent pin here. Okay, there wouldn't be a bent pin now. Can you drop in? There we go. Apparently I had just a little bit of a bent pin. Man, I should have brought napkins because now I have thermal paste all over me. Like I said, this is a used CPU. And then, now that it's in place, you just push this little arm down and it'll lock the CPU down so it won't come out of the socket. And your CPU is on your motherboard. Now, normally I would run some sort of aftermarket cooler, something that was a bit bigger, but this time I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to use this stock AMD cooler. And mostly it has to do with space. Because we don't have a whole lot of space. So this is the whole thing right here. You don't get a whole lot of space in the case that we're building in. And it does have a depth for how far your cooler can come off. And most coolers, just the bottom is about this size. And then it's yay tall off that. And it will not fit inside this case. So we're going to use the stock cooler that comes with it. And this actually looks like it was never installed. It even has the original thermal pad on it. And it hasn't been disturbed or anything. It literally looks like it's never touched anything ever. So this is literally a brand new cooler. They must have put something else on it. But in order to install that, I got to take these brackets off. Whoop. Take the brackets, put those to the side because they will be helpful in future projects possibly. And once we're done putting all this stuff together, then we'll get to doing what we got to do with the case. Well, there goes my backing plate that holds everything in. So there we go. Put that back down. So I'm going to use this thermal paste because even though that has a pad, I'm still going to put some of this Noctua on there. I really like the Noctua thermal paste, and I'm almost out. But I just put a thin little line down the middle. They say about the size of a grain of rice, but I've done it all sorts of ways, and I've never had a problem with it. And so, can I do that? Actually, I think with these newer ones, you can pop this whole cooler face off, which is what I want to do. Pop this whole thing off. Well, maybe I can't get it off. I can get up one side at a time, but not both sides. Oh no, they still have a screw up here. Well, this is going to be a huge pain because I need to get these screws out, but I don't have the right tool. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, even though I am. Okay, I'm back. I got 4 options to choose from to hopefully get this cooler right. And I'm going to start with this one because I think it's probably the best bet. There we go. So what I'm doing is rotating the fan on this cooler 90 degrees. Because for some reason they orientate, whatever, they orient the AMD with the same way with the CPU, and that's stupid. So I'm turning it so that it'll be set up right. And then it'll look right, and you'll be able to read it the way it was meant to be read, down. But I don't want to lose those screws, so I'm just going to drop them right there. And then I'll just rotate the fan around and set it up where it'll be the right way. Hey, apparently this screwdriver is magnetized. So it's crazy. You know what? I should have had music. Like, okay, so what I want to do is put the AMD logo like this. Line that back up. And now I got to put the screws back in it. So, wow. That's a different kind of life right there. If you can donate $600,000 in one go to a charity, like that guy's about to, because we're trying to be super aesthetic on this build. And aesthetics are important, you know? Leave me alone, TikTok. I'm not looking at you. Alright. Now we got this done. Yeah. Well, being a parent's definitely not easy. That's for sure. Alright, so we're just going to put the cooler right on top of the CPU, line it up with the screw holes on the backing plate. And then I'm going to use this one, because it's super thin, to screw this into the board. You know, I should put on some music. I know I said it a second ago, but I think I'm gonna go on to Stream Beats and start playing a, what was it called? Synth funk or something like that. Holy crap. What on earth is happening here? Yes, I do have a flashlight on me. Okay, there we go. That one's in now. Let's see if we can get this last one set. There we go. Nope, I don't think so. I don't think that's in. But these other ones are definitely in, so we're going to tighten those down. No, it's always one. I'm moving the motherboard and I don't need to do that, so. But we can go ahead and attach this. So CPU fan is right here. It's the bottom header on this motherboard. So we'll deal with the aesthetics later. Let's see. There we go. This side started. Alright, cooler is installed. So that's the CPU and motherboard right there. And it says AMD on the right side now. And these are actually really good coolers. So if you build a PC and you use this stuff, the AMD factory stuff is actually really good equipment to use. So that's why I don't have a problem using it. I mean, even the factory Intel ones are pretty good for the most part, because the old Intel CPUs only draw about 65 watts of power, and newer Intel CPUs draw quite a lot more. But it's not until you get to like the kind of stuff, the i7s, which is what I have in my personal computer, that you start to need that extra cooling, and so you would need to go with something bigger, and you know, maybe water cooling, but not me. I am air cool all the way. RAM stick 1, RAM stick 2. Put this down here. Alright, so there's a keyway in the middle of your RAM, and it's not perfectly in the middle because it's set up where you can't turn it one way or the other. It's only going to go in one way. So for us, we're going to populate these gray slots. You push it down until you hear a click. Same thing with this one. These two gray slots are going to be the ones on this motherboard you want to put them in. We're going to drop them in there. We're going to push them down until you hear a click on both sides, and now the RAM's installed. Basically everything you need minus power in order to turn this board on. However, this is not a G CPU, therefore you won't have integrated graphics, so even if you could power this on, you wouldn't be able to see anything unless you have a graphics card. So if you have a G model though, then it has integrated graphics and you won't need those pieces. However, on most things Ryzen, you will need that kind of stuff. Alright, so that's everything that we need for the motherboard setup. So for right now, we're going to put this to the side and we're going to work on the case stuff. It's going to be until it started to play. So we're going to just take this little door off like that. It wasn't intentional. Take the back plate off. And we can just leave these wires in here for now. They'll have places to go in a minute, but it's not necessary to remove them yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fan out, and we're going to move the fan. I just figured a little bit of music in the background would be nice. Alright, so now, okay, I don't know why you were stuck like that, but now we have these two fans out, and these two fans are going to go in the top of our PC. Every time it stops, I have to go and select a new song. I'm just gonna do lo-fi this time. Is it just you and the one guy still, Keller? Oh, snap. We got another $3 donation from Anonymous. I don't know who Anonymous is, but appreciated. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, as annoyingly awful as this is probably gonna be to do this, to put fans up here, you know what? Or maybe I won't run this extra fan that I brought. I'm just gonna move the stock intake fan up here. That way I still have room to run all my stuff to my motherboard without it being in the way. And then I'll put the new fans in the front and the back. So I'm gonna run the wire for the fan out the back here with all the other wires that are up here at the top. So yeah, because we want it to be an exhaust fan, and you'll have one out the top and then a few other exhaust fans, or one other exhaust fan in the back there, and then you'll have the two intake fans in the front. I would normally run two up here, but it might be easier to install the second fan if I choose to after I get the motherboard in, because at this current moment it's just going to be a giant pain to try to run that in. And when I've made videos of this stuff in the past, like I have a whole bunch of these at home where I've been trying to make maybe a channel out of building PCs. And you know, covering hardware and PC components and just tech that I like, things like that. I've decided, I mean, I have them sitting on all those videos, but I have a bunch, and when I do those, I actually have multiple views of what's going on when I'm building the thing or putting it in the case, that kind of stuff. And they're close-ups, so you can see it better than me just building it in front of you like this. Yeah, and then we're just going to pop the front of the PC off. And you're probably like, why are you taking it apart so much? Well, the way that this comes off the front, it's designed so that you can run fans right here. And that's what I'm going to do, is run fans all up it. I don't know what chill step is, but we're going to play that now. So I like these fans. They're really cheap. They're usually the most affordable ARGB, so addressable RGB fans you can get, which means that you can choose what color you want them to be and make them do patterns and stuff like that, but they only require a 5-volt reference power versus like traditional RGB is 12 volt. And most things these days are going to ARGB when it comes to like headers or motherboard parts. They'll still have the stuff for 12 volts, but it's mainly for if you already have that stuff, that equipment. There's just a box in a box. This is new. I haven't seen that before. And I've bought several of these kits in the past. What? Another 25 bucks. Hold up a second. Who is this one? Alright, well. 27 minutes ago, Aaron is online. Said monkey beef. Oh, I wonder if that's the guy that I donated to earlier. The Aaron is online was the guy that I donated to, and he found me and donated back. That's cool. I really appreciate that. And then Spanks a lot donated $25 1 minute ago. I don't know who you are, Spanx a lot, but I really appreciate that. We're at 129 now. We've doubled. We've over doubled what I made last year. And that's ecstatic to me. And the thing is, the stuff doesn't just stop happening. It is insane watching the numbers for the event. So they're having he's having his own event over here. And he's raised $776,000 that just his stream has raised. The event total for, I think, what everybody had before his event stream started is at like $876,000 right now. And last year they did $10 million in a day. But he started streaming around the same time I did last year. Now it's a live performance with celebrities and other people here. So that's different. But yeah, Spanx a lot. Thank you so much for the $25 dono. We're moving, guys. We're gonna get it. Oh, you just keep changing your name every time you donate. Thanks, Keller. Thank you, Spanx a lot. I mean, it's YouTube, it's the internet and stuff like that, so everybody has, like, funny names that they put on stuff, so I never know. Like, so somebody, I used to know a kid named Spanky when I was in high school, and that's what everybody called him, and that's how he responded and talked about stuff. What on earth? Oh. Oh, that's really cool. I have not bought this kit before. This kit comes with special pin connectors for the fans. I was wondering what was different about these fans from the other ones. These come with a controller. So if you don't have like ARGB stuff on your motherboard, this set actually comes with oh wow. It actually comes with really nice rubber stops on it. These are better than the regular ones. Oh, and they have braided cables. Wow. What's crazy is, like, this set runs like $17 most of the time. And the ones that I usually get are $13. So they're only $4 different. And for $4 difference, these have nice rubber stoppers on them, an actual braided cable, and they still are ARGB linkable. So this is these are nice. These are actually really, really nice fans. So, and they're going to do exactly what I need them to do. So this is going to be super fun. I got to run them through this side piece here, though. Alright. Wow, these are really nice. These were on sale for the holidays. So I bought 2 sets because I planned on using one for my personal PC. And I still might. As nice as these are way better than the ones that I normally get as far as quality goes. So we're at 129, I believe it was. And then once I'm done building this PC and it's booted up, I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and we're going to go and donate to some other streamers. Because it's going to be hard to compete with Jack's stream. Everybody is tuned into that now. Good. Where the hell did this... Oh, there it went. I was like, what on earth is happening? Where do I want them, though? Like, since I'm going to put 2 fans in the front, they're going to sit like this. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to set it where it's mounted up high here. And then we'll get that one going, so... Yeah, and then they come with little, like, rubber pull tabs. And the other ones just come with screws, so that's interesting. I mean, you still get screws But did I get enough screws? Rather than just little rubber pulls. Yep, I got screws. So we're going to go ahead and knock those out. PC building is incredibly relaxing to me, so I very much enjoy it. The process of building something and then turning it on and watching it work is just feels real good, you know? Except for when it doesn't work, like when you're doing an Intel 11th gen build and it's just a nightmare that won't fix itself. But I finally was able to get a good deal on a motherboard that showed up today. I got a notification about it a little while ago. So that is a good thing for me. Oh yeah, the music stopped. Time for me to select a new thing. Stream beats. What do I want this time? I'll just do ambient. Is it? Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I want. I want them up here, high. If you've never built a PC, or you're somebody looking at this video later on, way after this live stream, or I'll probably cut this part and edit it down, or maybe just throw it on the channel and be like, hey, I built this thing, and let other people see it. I think people should do it. Like, if you were interested in any sort of computer related stuff, like either gaming, or you want to do some editing, or just whatever it is that you want to do, it's always nice to just go ahead and maybe build your own PC just so that it's up to the specs that you want, or get involved with it. And I mean, there are a lot of people in PC building communities that you can talk to, and not all of them are assholes. Some of them are not great, but many of them are actually really chill people. In fact, I submitted a build to one of the discords of a channel that I watch that's like all they do PC building, and I submitted a really nice build that I did a little while back, another PC that I have already sold, but and oh, was that it? There's a whole playlist, but in order to play the playlists, this one's just called Christmas, but I think it actually has singing in it. Yeah, so now you get music that actually has lyrics in it. Christmas. Fits the theme. Super upbeat. But anyway, and I submitted the build months ago, and last night they posted it, and I got all sorts of comments about how clean the build was and how pretty it was. It was an all-white build. I mean, everything in it was white. I even took the graphics card apart and painted the shroud on it white. Because I was trying to make it fit the theme. And it turned out great. Like, it really was a very beautiful computer. So, beautiful enough that I got $500 for it. I made about $100 profit on the build. Well, I'll have to find that screw in a minute. But we're going. We're doing it. But I'm probably gonna end up doing multiple streams this month, and to continue to work towards the $500 goal. I don't know how much of them will be, how long they'll be, and most of those will probably be at night, which is fine. There will be more people going to see thankmas streams like they were earlier before Jack started his, because or Sean, whatever. Sean's his real name. But you know, it's his event. He raises the most amount of money for people, so it's one of those things where people are, you know, they're gonna go watch the creator and the person who inspired the event. So, well, that's a conundrum. I guess I'm gonna have to drop this thing just a little bit. This other fan won't be, there will be a little space between it. I guess that's fine. I've never worked in a case this small, other than like a you know, an office computer, because they tend to have small cases. Oh, I have to take the screws all the way out. All right. Touche. I did not see the way this was broken up. What do I want to do? I'll do electronic. I like electronic. Wow, this is not what I would call electronic. I listen to stuff like this on the rig, and this is, there's a whole different like genre name for this. The funnest part of this for me will be cable management, just to see how well this is going to be. So, put my flashlight in there so I can see where my holes are that line up. Oh yeah, I like that spacing. That's not bad. see if I can get a screw in this other side. Oh, tiny spaces. Tiny, tiny spaces. I got it. So my original plan was to make this like a portable streaming PC. Rather than have the laptop, or keep my older laptop here that I'm running the stream off of, and then build a more powerful gaming PC that I could tote around. More music. I might end up playing some of them twice because I can hear it and I actually like the stuff. So, what is? Did I do lo-fi already? I think I did lo-fi before that. I haven't done house, I don't think, but I like house music. So now this is club music. Somewhere there's some sort of tech nerd that's super into watching these kind of DIY build stuff. And if they found this channel right now, they'd just be like, oh my gosh. And start losing it. Tech nerd that's super into watching these kind of DIY build stuff. And if they found this... Alright, so that's the front two fans installed. Let me pull these wires through so I don't have to fight with them once I put this cover back on. Yeah, there we go. We're good. We're good and we're golden. Alright. So now, just for the sake of it, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this front back on. And now, you'll have the two fans behind here that light up, but they're not on the inside of the case, so you have as much room as you need to fit whatever it is that you need to fit inside the case here. Because as you can see, it's a very small space. Tiny form factor, this PC. But that's what I wanted. I want this to be like a small portable streaming setup or something like that. Well, until I sell it or get rid of it. Because this won't be one that I keep. This will be a build that definitely goes to somebody. But, you know, it's a college town. So there are a lot of people out there that are looking for... I need... the I/O shield. I'm just going to go ahead and snap that bad boy in. So, the I/O shield is meant to go on the back of your motherboard, or your motherboard goes through it, and what it does is it protects you from breaking off things. It gives it some extra structural integrity so that you don't break anything off in the back of it or damage your inputs. So, and you just take it like that, line it up inside the hole. Because there's pretty much a universal setup for these. I've never seen anything that didn't look like this, unless it was custom made into like the case itself. I've seen some old like enterprise stuff, or like the kind of stuff that they would sell to offices, and like old Dell Inspirons and stuff like that, that did have the I/O shield that was built into the case, because it was never meant to come apart. Yeah, you know, they don't expect you to modify an old Dell or anything like that. Even though Optiplex modifying is incredibly popular, especially for like a budget build. I mean, you can get fairly decent Optiplexes with newer hardware, at least new enough to game on and stuff, for less than $100. And then you get an adapter kit that allows you to adapt different power supply, because generally the ones that come in those PCs are going to be lower wattage, and they're going to have a set number of connectors on them, and so that you're not going to have like PCIe connectors for graphics cards and stuff like that. So they'll make a little adapter that plugs in to give the motherboard power off of a regular plug setup. And then what you'll do is you'll put a graphics card in, and when you have your new power supply in there, it'll power the graphics card, and then you'll use the adapter to power the motherboard. Is generally how people do the Optiplexes, and you can buy those all day long. In fact, it's such a common thing for a lot of these like PCs that you get. You know, I will actually install this after I put the motherboard in. Yeah, that'll just make it a lot easier. And then in this bag over here, I have a screwdriver that I need to get, a ratcheting driver, because I have to move one of the standoffs. So inside your PC case, not all of them they won't always be installed this way, but you'll have standoffs that help the motherboard. That's how it doesn't just sit flat in the back of the case. And there are holes that line up, and the holes are meant for you to run the screws through your motherboard. Well, not every motherboard has the same layout. Now, most of them are the same. Only a few of the things ever actually change, and so that's why I like this tool. It's my ratcheting screwdriver to take those things in and out real fast and switch them to the right place that I need them to be. So now we've got the case fans in. We've got most of the stuff out of the way for the motherboard, and we're going to go ahead and drop that thing in. So that's our motherboard with our RAM. Everything's already pre-installed. So you can hold it by the cooler and just set it down inside this case. Yeah, I made the right choice in not putting that other fan in here yet, because getting this stuff down here and lined up, because the other thing you want to do is you want to line up your motherboard with the I/O on the back. So the shield is set up, and you have to fit all these things in right and get them in the right spots, and then start screwing them down into the risers that come up, your little standoffs. So now we're gonna go into this box, and we're gonna get screws that will hold this thing in. And I don't remember what kind of screw went into this, but I don't think it was these. Nope, it was these. Okay. Most cases will actually come with screws for you to put your to screw your motherboard in. Like sometimes they're color coded, like the case is set up to look a certain way, so they send you stuff that fits the theme of your case. Maybe I just put in the wrong screw, because I thought this one had like weird screws with it. I thought anyway, but it's taking regular motherboard screws right now, and they're tightening down. So, but if they don't tighten down, nope, they're going tight. So I guess we're good. And basically, an example that I have here is I had a case that came with chrome motherboard screws because it was a white case and it fit the build. Most things, especially dark colored cases, are going to come with black. Sometimes they'll come with gold if they're like a cheap case, because you know the manufacturer, whoever their distributor is that gives them their hardware, Probably cuts them a pretty good deal to use whatever stock you can get. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and screw all these in. This motherboard has 8 screws. Screw holes just because it's a MATX board, meaning that it's a smaller board than normal. And you have even smaller boards than this. You have because you have micro ATX and then you have like mini ATX, and those are insanely small. My sister bought a PC off Amazon that came with like a mini ATX board, and it was a tiny board with old e-waste hardware, and it could barely run any games. And so when I upgraded, I gave her my old PC parts because I wanted them to go to some sort of use. So, alright, and then the only one I have left is the one in this corner, but I don't know if it's going to line up right. What's good? I don't know. PC gaming? Building computers? That's what's good to me. And that's what's good going on today. Yep. So now, motherboard's installed in the case. And now all I gotta do is do all the plugging and playing for everything that has to be hooked up so that you can have everything on the PC work the way it's supposed to. So your USBs in the front, your fans, everything else has got to be hooked up. And now's a pretty good time to go ahead and put in that other fan, this fan right here in the back. So try not to lose all the crap. Throw everything in my box over here. It's like this. I'm 1000% buying more kits that have this controller in there. It's not normal that you have this controller, but like it's really good because you actually have the choice. You can pick modes and display and stuff like that. Like just this controller by itself runs like $8 or $9, unless you can buy them from AliExpress, but you're going to be waiting a couple of months for that thing to show up. Even if it says 15 days, I wouldn't bet money on it. So, well, it's not terrible. It could look better, but there's not a whole lot of space for that, so. And are we going to try to run this off the board? Probably not. Actually, before I even install this fan, I really am I'm going to put in my power supply and run the CPU power first. Because that's going to be a problem when we get there if I don't do it like that now. Alright, power supply. It's got an offset way of being screwed in. Your case will be offset, but most of the time on newer cases, your fan's going to be on the bottom and it's going to pull air up and then out. So this, with the fan on the bottom and the wires towards the back, would be your pretty much normal orientation for everything that is out now. Now, if you have like an old desktop computer that was made by like Dell, I mean, if you had any of the ones that are like an Inspiron, the kind of stuff that they order for, what am I doing? I'm grabbing the wrong ones. I want these. If you if you buy a PC that's pre-built by a company, unless it's specifically gaming, odds are the layout's going to be different for packaging purposes. A lot of your kind of like typical office PCs will actually have the power supply up here, and the case will be smaller, the power supply will be up top, the motherboard will be sit down lower, and it's for packaging purposes versus having to have this at the bottom and route it up. Plus, you don't have to see in the side of those in those PCs and make them look pretty. So instead, you just have like a completely sealed case, and the wires just go wherever they got to go. But they are very clean on the inside, and by that I don't mean like not having dust or dirt or whatever. Everything's gonna get that, but the actual wiring itself is usually they route it pretty clean. They want it to look a certain way if you do take it apart. It also makes it easier for any technician that has to do like warranty work. So, and the other thing is like they don't really want to pay for more wire than they have to. It's measured out. They say this works, and they're trying to save that money. So, what they do, they gonna save that money. Alrighty. So all that's there. And the one that I want, so there are multiple sets of braided cables, but this one is my PCI, which will go to my graphics card. This goes to the CPU, and it has to go in this top space up here and then probably turn itself over. This is actually the part that takes maybe the longest, is when you're building a PC, is doing any sort of wire management. It's super frustrating sometimes because things do not want to fit like this. Even though it's lined up, it doesn't want to go in. There we go. There we go. But sometimes the orientation of like the CPU power socket is either upside down, so you might have a power supply that wants it to be bent a certain way, and you have to unbend it upside down in order to be able to get it into the case the right way. So that's why I went ahead and did that one. That way, if I do, when I put this other fan in, it's not in the way anymore, and it's actually where it's supposed to be. So everything in here is right. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna run all the stuff in because at this point I can hook up everything to the motherboard and start kind of figuring out how I want to run my my cables through the back. Wow, I did not realize how much light outside gave me. Nope, still sitting at 129. Let's see. I'm gonna go and start playing some music again. Or not. There we go. I haven't done hip hop. Let's see what this sounds like. Alright, so this is USB, this is audio, and then this crazy non-setup connector is your power and all that stuff. So, like, from your buttons up here to, like, turn the PC on and whatnot. I actually almost used this case in this PC setup to build a newer, like a 12th gen Intel build, because I got a motherboard super cheap that was an MATX Z690 board, which is the pro, like the gaming setup board. And all right, this was a problem before. I think I gotta go in this way. I did test fit a different power supply into this case, and a problem that I had was hooking up the power connector for like the ATX part of the motherboard, because when you try to fit a graphics card in there, unless you have a very tiny graphics card, one like the one that's in my main PC, which is a single fan RTX 3060, right, there we go. you will have problems fitting things in a case this small. But they are a really nice form factor. So a reason I think this PC will probably do really good on, like, you know, Marketplace or something, is because it is a gaming PC that can compete with stuff that's out now, but it's also going to fit in something like a dorm room. So it's made for small form factor. It's going to run quiet. It's going to have plenty of ventilation, and whoever uses it is going to be, you know, happy with its stuff, but they can set it on a desk and it's not going to take up a huge amount of space. My sister's PC is bigger than this, the one that she has out there, and then my PC is probably double the size of this one because I have like a full ATX case. I have a full like eATX case, so it's longer and it's taller, and it's a Fantex case. And I got that last year. What I think is funny is how much I paid for it versus how much it is now. Alright. I never know which one of these are going to have, like, lyrics. Alright, so now we got CPU power. We got motherboard power. Yep. We're doing alright. So now we gotta wire all this stuff up and just figure out how I want to do it. Yeah, and then this one is for the graphics card, so it's going to come out front. I'll deal with that in a little bit. And most of these other ones, I don't actually have to use the cables that are in the back here. So I'm treating this kind of like a first-time build guide for someone. So these power cables, not this one, because this one is part of the case. That doesn't matter. So you have two different ones here. Yo, what's up, Camel T? How's it going? So these are SATA connectors. These are going to be for like your old style hard drives and stuff, but it's going to work for this SSD. Even this isn't a boot drive. This is just going to be mass storage, so it's not a big deal. And then these are Molex connectors. Now, something you would use Molex for is old fans and old cases and stuff like that. These also can run fans, like that RGB controller and like a fan hub or something. But these are all basically just to run peripheral accessories inside the case. And I don't need any of them but one SATA cable, so we'll just leave that out there. And the rest of these are getting shoved into your hard drive station or carrier. So tuck this out of the way. Having a good day? Happy thankmas? I'm having a good time. I'm glad I got to this now. So this is 4:16. I think I've been building for like an hour. But I've also been talking about what I'm doing for an hour while I'm building. Oh. I didn't realize this SSD carrier was plastic. Alright. We're going to put that back up in here. And then I'm going to see where I want to run these cables. So for me, I got to turn it around so I can see where they come up from the bottom here. Some of this stuff, like this one, I want to separate it, and I'm going to pull it through here because it's going to need that kind of bend to get in there. No, I'll go to the same one my 24 pin power connector went through. Yeah. That good? Yeah. Because I'll just have to twist and tuck up some stuff, but I have zip ties to zip tie everything in place. So yeah, so alright, that wire's run now. That's out of the way. And then there's these. Now, which one is audio? Because audio will go somewhere. Yeah, that one goes over here. So this one goes all the way over, and it's going to go up over the power supply right there. And I'm going to twist it back and plug it into its slot. And these things are going to be hard to get in sometimes. They're going to be a little tight. But most of them have a certain pin out, so they're only going to go one way. And you can't really mess them up. You can mess them up, but you'd have to be trying in the way that I see it. It would be difficult to just say, oh no, I'm going to just shove all this stuff in here or whatever willy-nilly, and then you'll break a bunch of stuff. But I hope things aren't overlapping too much. Alright, USB. We want to do USB 1 and 2. I mean, you can do 3 and 4 if you want, but I don't. I want to do 1 and 2. Set them up that way, so because it makes my brain happy. And I had a SATA cable that I needed. Yep, this one right here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run this. Sorry, didn't mean to blind you. I'm going to go ahead and run this down and out the back. And we're just going to go and we're going to try to get it in slot. Nope, not going to work. Alright, so this is going to be one of those things where because of the layout of the case and the motherboard, there's really not a way to get a SATA cable in here the way we need to. So I'm just gonna flip it like that, and it's gonna sit in SATA spot 2. So what are we doing? We're doing good over here. All right. And then for the last really annoying piece of this puzzle, yeah, let's take all this and just pull it out of the way because it's not necessary right now to deal with that. And then we'll put that in later. That's SATA for what that's for. This is what I needed. Alright, and we're going to run this up alongside the other ones we brought down here, because this is the one that gives you power to your motherboard and everything when you press the button. So, and the fun fact about this one is this is probably the most annoying one to do, because on the motherboard itself, all the layouts are pretty much the same, but the individual pins on this connector they're broken down. They're not all one piece. They're like multiple little ends. That way you can orient them however you like. But the problem is that generally they're kind of finicky, and if you don't peel them back kind of away from each other, it makes them very hard to put them in, because you're going to end up putting them in one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the time. What? What? Okay. If you say so. But yeah, so alright. I see the orientation, so doing this should be fun. Hard drive LEDs, positive, negative, installed. Reset switch. Fun fact is that if you don't have an RGB controller, but you do have a way, they make these little adapters you can hook your reset button to, and it'll restart your stuff. I agree. Don't vape. Not good. Vaping's bad. Alright. I got all the cables on. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride. I think chat is amusing. Alright, now for the fun part. We're going to go ahead and install that upper fan. 34. I like to think so. Don't feel that way every day, though. Alright. We're going to get this last fan installed, and then we'll put the graphics card in, which is going to be the most fun part. Yeah. Hopefully. Alright, the other one was kind of tight too, wasn't it? Yep, that's what happens. I'm having a pretty good day, I would say. I mean, got some pretty good donations, building the computer. Couldn't ask for much more than that. How are you doing? Good. You just traveling around looking at streams, or you come for thankmas, or you saw PC building, or what's your interest? And I guess it's quiet now, huh? I keep forgetting that music is gonna stop. Well, if this was the kind of PC stuff that I watch, lurking would get you points so that you'd win a free PC, but I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. Would be kind of cool to be able to have like a PC giveaway. But I'd have to be making something on the stuff first. Alright. And I'm going to have to break this little piece out. Just lurking. Nothing wrong with that. I lurk in streams sometimes. Right. So now the most important part of a gaming computer is your graphics card. And this is a GTX 1070. So is it the latest and greatest? No. Is it a very good graphics card? Yes, a 1070 is actually a very good graphics card. This has 8 gigs of VRAM, so it'll play pretty much anything you want to play these days. Maybe not in 4K or 1440p, but in 1080, you should have really no problem. Now, some games are getting very demanding on your VRAM, so they're going to eat up everything that you have, which is one reason I haven't upgraded from the 3060 is because it's got 12 gigs. But 8 will be perfectly adequate for most gaming, and it's really a good looking card. Plus, EVGA doesn't make graphics cards anymore, so these things are getting more expensive and rarer by the day. So if you could get one, they'll basically become collector's items at some point. So you might notice that this graphics card doesn't seem to fit right. And it's because I'm going to have to actually turn it up like this and then turn it down in order to fit it inside the case because of how small this PC case is. It's ridiculous. I mean, in a good way. I like it. That makes for a clean build right there. Alright. Then I just got to line it up. You want to push it in, and you'll get it seated. There will be a little click. Really, Keller? Well, don't let your coworkers know. I appreciate the energy, though. Well, that won't go. That's not going to work. I don't know why, though. That's kind of frustrating. I wonder what it wants me to use to put this stuff in here. Okay, well, that's not going to work. I guess we'll have to use the ones that are made for, like, the power supply. Because they're kind of, like, cut their own stuff. Yep. Gonna have to use power supply screws to get this thing in here. Alright. And then... slide this power cable back out for the graphics card. Plug in this 8-pin connector. It's going to be a hard turn down. I wish I had some cable extensions. Won't be so harsh once it's in, though. Somewhere someone said, that's what she said. There we go. Alrighty. Alright. And that be it right there. What's up, Cerberus1? So that is about as tight as you can put in. Thank you. It's going to look a lot cooler once I turn it on. All right. I forgot to hook up all the fans. All right. So... oh, I have well, this is a gaming laptop, and I also have one with a 4060 in it over here that this monitor you can see in the corner is playing on. I appreciate it. But it'll be a nice little mini build for somebody. So, alright, and then, oh, I see the problem with this one. What makes this one different from the other kit is you actually have to use this piece to connect all your fans to it. Ah, that's what makes this different from the other one, is the other one, like, you can daisy chain all your fans together. And this one does not let you. It lets you daisy chain your ARGB part of your fans together, but it does not let you daisy chain your actual fan header. So that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And then, let's see. All my fan headers are right here. I got channel fan 2, channel fan 1. Well, I might have just made a problem. You live in New Zealand. This is my travel kit. This is actually, I'm borrowing my sister's room because they have better internet here to do a stream. If you saw the number of electronics I have in my like work room at my house, it looks like a server room. There's cables and wires and stuff everywhere. I do have a lot of stuff. This is just the travel setup for the stream. Oh, that's gonna be fun. I should have tried to do that before graphics card in. Ooh, I made a mistake. Well, nothing that a few six. It's kind of glitching out, the stream. Yeah, YouTube keeps telling me for some reason that it's not getting enough video, but OBS tells me everything is perfectly fine. And I don't know if it's YouTube's end or high traffic or what's happening with it. But I'm going to have to take this graphics card back out real quick so that I can put this fan header on and then hook up my ARGB. But I do this enough that it doesn't take long at all. There's only 2 fan headers on this board. But the way that it has it like set up on here makes it seem like you would have more than the 2. And I don't know why it does that. Because it definitely only has the 2. Alright. Alright, fan headers are in. I am a God of War fan, yes. It's it is a big thing for like my interests. I have a whole collection of stuff if you see my videos from my house. Who likes Goku? One Punch Man's better. I like them both. I'm not gonna lie. I love Goku. Long time Dragon Ball fan, but I love the One Punch Man manga. I read every new chapter that comes out. I read it. I care more about the new One Punch Man than I do the new like the new Dragon Ball Supers, because I understand that they're doing the arc for Gohan to get his like beast mode from the movie, but it's not as funny as watching Saitama just be away. Oh, you keep your One Piece to yourself. One Piece is I'm not the kind of anime fan that goes after people. You know, like some people in the anime community are really like assholes to one another for no reason because of what they like. And I don't have a problem with what anybody likes, but when it comes to me, like One Piece is just a show I could never get into. To me, it's just I don't like the animation and it's so boring. Hypocrite? What are you talking about? I don't have a problem. If you like One Piece, you like One Piece. It's just not for me. Huh. Metal Bat. Well, that's an interesting choice. I wouldn't have thought that. My favorite character is probably Saitama. Have I watched what? I did like Garo. I liked him, and I even liked his like monster form before he had it all punched out of him. And I was like, I really thought they were finally gonna have a thing where, you know, Saitama was gonna have a true like rival, but then they totally made it where he was still overpowered, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if Goku and One Punch Man are exactly the same, mainly because Goku, oh, I loved Serious Saitama. The Serious table flip on Jupiter was awesome. But Goku is somebody that looks for a challenge and has limits, but he breaks his limits. And that's Goku's thing. But Saitama is somebody that's like Superman. He already broke through the limit and is at max power that he could possibly be at. The difference is Saitama's funny, and I like Saitama, but I do not like Superman. You think One Punch Man needs to keep growing in strength? I don't think he'll grow any more than he already has. I think he has as much power as he needs. I want to know what he's going to do with the people that Blizzard is in charge of. When she called them weak and he was like, they just need to train. And I was like, is he going to start training average people to become like superhumans at some point? Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He broke his limiter, meaning that he doesn't have a limiter. Goku still does. So Goku has to break his, but he still has a level above. Saitama, you have a good day too. Thanks for stopping by. Saitama doesn't have that limit anymore. Tell you what, this cable management is not going to be pretty. Bye. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Oh no. Oh no. My phone's about to die. What am I going to plug this into? Oh, shut up. I'm at 15. I'll be all right. I can do it. I can finish this and then find a plug. See, I think the biggest issue when you start talking like anime across certain universes turns into what are the rules of that universe? Does Goku have to play by Saitama's rules? Does Saitama have to play by Goku's rules? Is you know, Saitama is undefeatuable in his universe, but is he like a baby Saiyan in Goku's universe? And that's the problem, is trying to power scale stuff. Oh, he came back. What's up? But I like them both. I definitely think Goku is 100% the cooler looking of the heroes. I mean, One Punch Man is a bald guy. And while Saitama is incredibly funny, and I love the way that he, interacts with people and all that stuff. I think it's amazingly hilarious. He is kind of like basic looking versus Goku, who always looks great. Like, I loved the Super Saiyan forms, but I will say that Ultra Instinct is probably the coolest thing they've ever done to Goku. He still has a very similar to his original hairstyle. It's not crazy or super up, but I love that silver gray that they do with it, like silver gray white color Ultra Instinct hair. In like the way that they make him move, the power. When they animate him, you feel like he has power. And I think that's what makes Goku, like, aesthetically cooler and, like, the way that he feels. But Saitama's by far the funnier. And Saitama is probably smarter. I mean, based on the way that they write Goku now, they make him an absolute idiot. And I'm like, the Goku that I grew up with in Dragon Ball Z was kind of a smart tactician. Yes, he played around with things he probably shouldn't have, and caused issues that were not good for his world or the universe kind of deal, but I did not know that. Who is it? Because so far there ain't been nobody in his universe that's even come close. Well, you mean Zeno? Like, if he just wanted to destroy the universe and Saitama was there? Yeah, okay. I thought that's where you were going. He would, I mean, he can erase the universe, so if all of them are there at that one time, he would definitely be able to erase existence, because even if you can defeat everything in one punch, you can't bring yourself back from the brink, I guess. I don't think so. I don't think that I don't think that that character in One Punch Man is all powerful, like created the universe. I think it's just a celestial. I mean, it is the closest thing to that, but I don't think it's a. I don't know. I mean, they haven't told us yet. So until they sort of explain it, because right now they're doing the thing where they've been talking to Blast to try to figure out what's going on with all that stuff. So I mean, if he goes down that route and basically turns God into Zeno for the One Punch Man universe, then man, I don't know. It would be hard to say what would happen in that. So I mean, you make a good point, but until he tells us. Hmm? Really? I mean, I don't know. I read all the chapters when they come out in Shonen. I know that if you go read them on like the One Punch Man website, that you can get the stuff faster. So I won't say that I'm fully up to date on that. If he has already done it, then that's kind of incredible that he already wrote it like that. So I'll have to go and check that out and catch up on it. But I remember I used to go watch. If you're into One Punch Man, I don't know if you watch like anime YouTubers, but there's one called the something Pineapple, and he would always talk about the leaks from the writer of One Punch Man that came out like a week ahead of time all the time. And I used to watch his stuff, and then I stopped watching it because I didn't want it to be spoiled. But I got really into that. I watched the anime first because I was like, well, I saw some clips online and I thought they were funny. And then the anime ended in season 2 before Garo really even built up any power, any real steam. And I had to go read the manga. So then I went back and read the whole manga all the way up to where it is, at least now through Shonen. But I do know that there have been references made to like somebody that challenged God in that universe or something once. Oh, that I believe. I am absolutely certain that, I mean, in any of the versions, well, because I know they retconned it at one point, because I know that they were like, he beat up Garo, and then they had the thing where he was going to have tea with him and talk about why he was like in a bad mood or whatever. And then all of a sudden they just deleted those chapters from everything and then rewrote it where it had the ultimate battle where they went to Jupiter and all that stuff. And I was like, I mean, it is crazy where they went with it. But I do really, really like their, what they've done with One Punch Man and all that. So I never thought that they showed Saitama's full power already. I don't, because nobody's ever been able to really test him. I mean, hell, he only went serious mode against Garo, and that was it. Besides serious mode, whatever is beyond that, like super serious or whatever they would call it for him, we haven't even seen the surface of that power, I would assume. And that's what makes him so dangerous to everything. Your favorite game is God of War? Like the 2018 version or the 2005 version? I mean, I'm honestly partial to either, but it's always nice to know how long people have been in it. Kratos is immortal. Well, kind of. he can die. He just can't die by his own hand because of the curse that was put on him. Which is why in the first game when he tries to jump off the suicide bluff, he ends up being saved because the curse that was put on him after he killed his family made it where he can't kill himself. So that's why Ares was able to impale him and do all that stuff. And he did suffer damage and, get killed in Pandora's temple, but he doesn't die like in the newer games. Oh, yeah, no, he does escape Tartarus every time, for sure. But there's always something that spurs him on. That would be Kratos, God of War, the video game. Yeah, I was super big into that. I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, it's not impossible for him to die. But he can he can get out of it if he so chooses to, I guess. So I guess that would make him immortal. But he can't be immortal forever because when in Chains of Olympus, when he went and Persephone got rid of, or freed Atlas, when he was trying to break the pillar that holds up the world and it was going to come down and crush everything, it would have killed everything. It would have killed all the gods, everything above and everything below. And he was trying to save his daughter, and that's why he had to throw away his humanity in the Elysium fields, kill all the innocent people, and get all of his god powers back so that he even stood a chance to save her. But if it had come down like that, I mean, there's nothing to save if there's no Tartarus. You can't climb out of a place that's been destroyed. So, again, this comes back to, here's another character that in order to, I guess, to kill them, you would have to destroy the universe that they're from. I mean, you would literally have to bring everything crumbling down like Saitama's universe. There would have to be some super person with powers that could go and just erase everything. But until we see that, I'm just along for the ride. All right. What are the lurkers doing in chat? Still just hanging out? Okay. Oh, it's all good. I'm going for quite a bit longer. Last year I streamed for 8 to 9 hours, so if you want to hang around or you want to come back later, or you can watch the stream VOD. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, so whatever floats your boat. Moment of truth. Do we have power? Yes. And now, did I do it right? Even the graphics card has lights on it. That's the good stuff right there. much cord is on this? Yeah, I'll leave that alone. I appreciate it. Oh, I should probably put these on there. And that is how you build a PC. Very slowly. It took me 2.5 hours to build this. I think is about how much time I have into putting this one together. But I was going slower and talking and explaining stuff, so. Oh no. I think one of my antennas is messed up. Let me put this back in here. No problem. And that is how you build a mini PC. This would be great to put on a desk or hide somewhere. You could put this just about anywhere. I mean, it's super tiny, so have a good night. So overall, I mean, like, this is, I really enjoyed it. It is a little bit tighter to fit stuff in, and I didn't know if this 1070 would fit in it, but it all fit perfectly fine. It's all wire managed in the back. I got all the fans running the way that they should, so I didn't run that extra fan here, so this is just open ventilation, but you have exhaust here, and 2 intake fans to pull air across everything and out. So, like, no, not at all. Now, I'm probably going to go back to gaming or go into, like, donate to other streamers. That's what I was doing earlier, so. But no, the stream's not over. At least not for me. Yeah, probably. You'll probably be on till like 9 or 10. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to be on for... I'm trying to stay on as long as I was last year. I meant to start the stream at 10 this morning, but, I'll see you on the next live stream. You have a good night. And for everybody else, I mean, stick around if you want. If you got stuff to do or places to go, do what you got to do. It happens. I mean, like, when you build a PC, if you don't build them all the time, it can be, little things like that can happen. See ya. I have built 15 computers since April, because that's when I really ramped up starting to build stuff. And I could build them a lot faster, I do know what Warhammer is. Are you specifically talking about 40K I don't know a lot about Warhammer. I do know what it is. And I do know that Voldemort is a channel that talks about Warhammer. I know that they're like 40K. Okay, yeah. I know that there are orcs that can like imagine weapons to work and stuff like that. Like some of the lore is absolutely crazy. I don't know a lot about it. I do know that somehow the internet is thirsty for the Warhammer orcs. FNAF? Oh yeah. I played FNAF for Halloween. It's on my YouTube channel. And I keep up with FNAF all the time. I mean, like, I keep up with the lore. I'm watching all the game theory videos. I actually knew more about the lore of the game than I had never played the game until this past Halloween. And I played the whole first game, and I posted the individual nights. And I used to think that the people that were like that would scream and stuff when they would get jump scared were being over dramatic, but then I played it, and I can confirm that they're not being over dramatic. You just get real distracted. You're like stressed out, looking left and right, and you're like, oh, I gotta see, I gotta find, I gotta watch, and then you miss something. And it only by the end, by night 4 and 5, it takes one mistake. You miss one thing. And you don't realize it because you're focusing on so much other stuff. And so when that stuff jumps out of nowhere, you know, it really does get you. Because you never see it coming. You're just like, oh. And so that's a thing. Yeah, I do like Five Nights at Freddy's though. I know way more about it than I know about Warhammer. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. Maybe later I'll hook it to a monitor and we can see what it looks like, because I know that the SSD that's in there was already paired with this motherboard before I did all the changes that I did now when I was building this one. So that in Windows, all Windows subscriptions are attached to your motherboard, so I know that it should boot up just fine.
So that was the build in a nutshell. It was super fun to build on stream. I do love building PCs, and I've never built one in such a small form factor. I really liked that case. I would like to buy another one, and I want to keep it, but I don't know what I'd do with it because I only need one desktop, and so I would just be building stuff for other people. Hey, maybe one day I could just get into like building stuff for people, like commission work, and I could ship them to people. I don't know how that would work, but I definitely enjoy doing it. And other than that, I guess we're going to call this video. Again, not going to ask for your subscription or anything like that, but I will ask that if you have it, donate to the Tiltify link below, or go to Jack's page for thankmas, or just donate to any charity that you think is worth it. Whether it's mental health, veterans, something to help the homeless, a different place to feed people, maybe for shelter, whatever it is. In this season of giving, if you have it, just go donate to that cause, whatever will bring you that happiness and joy, because we could all help somebody out, and you know, hopefully one day it'll come back and people will be able to help us. We really need more of that right now, rather than all the divisiveness. It would be nice if people could actually agree on something for once. So I think most of us agree that charity is pretty good, and I'm gonna keep trying to campaign for it the rest of the month, trying to hit that $500 goal and trying to blow it out of the water if we can. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. I really do. Until we meet again next time, peace.
Go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the